Welcome everybody, and thank you so much for joining us on the live edition. Apologies, last week we had to record because of my weird and wonderful schedule. But today we are indeed live, and I'm joined with my two good friends here, Jeanne, Alleva and Redfern. Hopefully we might be graced with Collins' presence a little later, but I think he's travelling, so not quite sure on that one. Anyway, we wanted to take another look at what was said last Thursday by our illustrious CEO, because there's a lot of people still not listening to what's being said. So I'm going to pass the baton across straight to Jeanne, Rabbit and the Headlamps, Alleva.
Well, thanks, Andy. Hi, Red. It's great to be here. Yeah, I mean, I took the opportunity today to re-listen to the recording of the Ash Only on your channel, actually, Red, and with the Hindi subtitles. And it's amazing what you can miss when you're just watching something for the first time, because what he said, hi, Collins, what he said, there was just so much that he covered. But for me, like, some of the key things that really stuck out to me were that even when you're just thick in the mire of corruption, of people making bad decisions and poor choices and really trying to stick it to you, you can still choose to stay who you are. You can still choose to do the right thing and be good. And it kept coming up in the things that he was saying as he talked about the different things. And so as it was wrapping up, right before we got on here, some of the key things were, being a light in the darkness, be a light in your community, keep positive, just being genuine, being who you are, and then making choices from that, as opposed to knee-jerk responses to other people in the world who might be making bad choices, or not believing in you, or ridiculing, or any of those things. So I just wanted to get it started with that. There's so many things we could cover, but just making those positive choices in the middle of darkness, I will say.
Well, what certainly looks like darkness. Absolutely, no, I agree. What I would like to stress here, guys, is that there have been no details given to us, so please don't jump to conclusions about who, what, where, why, and how. We don't know that. Yes, we know that there are some bad people from various offices that we have had, and they've obviously clubbed together to try and bring us down. We don't know any more details than that, and we certainly don't know any names, so please don't put them on the forums. That's not necessary. We cannot jump to conclusions. I would like to add a little bit here, because I think, having listened to what was said the other day, and I was lucky enough to grab it in the car driving back, which was brilliant, and every so often it would pause while my signal went, and then it would come back and go blah, 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 and catch up. Fantastic. But what struck me more than anything is the tenacity and the sheer will of our CEO to not give up in what has been, what I can clearly see is the biggest face of adversity I've ever seen in any business. And for him to continue after that is just beyond amazing. And to be fair, guys, this is why we follow him. This is why we are part of this, and this is why we will always remain part of this. So what are your thoughts, Red? And thank you for joining us, Collins. We weren't sure. I'm glad you managed to get back on time. Sorry, Red.
Yeah, no worries, Andy. Hi, Jeanne, and hi, Collins. Good for you to be here, mate. Thursday's webinar for me, I said it live and I'll say it again now. Prior to the meeting, I had a lot of questions in my head of a lot of things. I mean, it's only natural. We haven't seen him for a while. We know that things were paused last September, and really we didn't have an awful lot of information over the last 6 months from our CEO. So naturally, as a keen founder, as I am, I had a lot of questions. So one thing I did do was I went to the meeting with a very open mindset. I went there to listen to what he had to say, plain and simple. And as I always do, I write notes for myself so that I can remember it. I re-listen to it so that I can get a very good grasp on what he actually said. Because when he's talking, you're so concentrated on maybe hearing the things that you want to hear rather than what he's actually saying. And I get that. You know, people have got things going on in their lives and they're looking and listening to those key things that they want to hear. But it's not necessarily what he actually says. And this is part and parcel why many of us do a recap and break things down to try and put it into layman's terms so that people can understand exactly what's going on. What did I think about the webinar? It answered an awful lot of my questions. He covered a lot of things that have gone on, what's happened, where the money is, which I thought was really, really important. And I was very happy with that scenario. Even though there is going to be a process involved within it, it's still looking like it could be a very good outcome for all of us. He mentioned about the SEC and all the other things in the past that have gone wrong. But the one thing that I took from it that was the biggest positive is he was sort of going over those things. Why? Because he did it as out of respect for us that we needed to know so that we can now move forward. You know, this is the whole emphasis that I took from the whole meeting is, yeah, this has happened. I can't change what's happened. I've been doing my very best alongside actually what has been going on. I had an inkling, so I put a plan B into place. This has been running for 2 years, and I'm now here strategically coming to you to give you more information of the next phase of the business. What I took from it was that whatever we see, whatever is coming our way, it is way better than we thought. It is going to blow our minds. He said there's no point coming back with the same or a little bit better. That doesn't prove anything. It doesn't shock anybody. It doesn't lift people at all. Whatever he comes back with has to be far better than what it was. And one of the phrases he used that I absolutely really did like, and I know some of you were worried about this, was the new phase will be different. He said from ONPASSIVE, the only thing that's going to be the same is me and my name, and the rest is going to be completely different, and details of this will follow. What was my take on that? My take on all of that is going right back to 2018. 2018, when I joined off 2 audio videos. Didn't even see the name, what this guy looked like, but he was setting out a vision of what he was trying to achieve. That's what attracted me. That's what, you know, struck my chords, and many of us who have been here for a long period of time. I firmly believe, and I am reading between the lines, and this is only my opinion, that when he said 2024, we will look back as being the best year in ONPASSIVE, why has he said that? Because let's face it, an awful lot of caca had gone on in 24, hadn't it, really, from all sides? Do you know what I mean? It wasn't exactly, from when I was looking at it, it wasn't the best year at all. So why is he saying it's the best year, and we will find out it's going to be the best year that's happened to ONPASSIVE? Now, this is my understanding of what I think. During the journey of ONPASSIVE, we who have been here a long time have seen an awful lot of growth. Founders, the name of the website, that changing, Founders changing again, website changing again, expansion into India, multiple places, Singapore, Dubai, Egypt, United States. And the list keeps going on. We've seen all this expansion. And then we started having collaborations with other people, and obviously Burj Khalifa and all the bells and whistles that were going on. I had an inkling when all that was going on that we were getting away from the core beliefs and direction of ONPASSIVE. Now, this is only my belief and it's only my take on it. I think that we were starting to go in directions within ONPASSIVE that were going away from what he actually wanted. And this is why I firmly believe that him drawing that line in the sand when things were going south, restarting again like he's going to in the direction with the team that he actually really wants, with the things that he actually is trying to do, is going to be a blessing in disguise for all of us. It means that he's now in a position where behind the scenes he can do what he wants to do, achieve what he wants to achieve in the direction he wants to go in, without having other people trying to drag him down routes, collaborations with people that don't align with what ONPASSIVE core belief is all about. That's why I firmly believe that the next phase of this business is going to be a very exciting one. Why? Because the whole ethos of what ONPASSIVE is all about is a level playing field for everybody to succeed. Not people at the top, not people in charge, not nothing like that. The everyday person, it gives a platform, a level playing field for everyone to succeed to whatever their desire is. And this is exactly why I believe that this change, this new direction, whatever you want to call it, is going to turn out for the much better than it was going to be previously. Back to you.
Thanks, Red. Thanks. As I said, Collins has managed to make it today, which is really good. I'm pleased you could do so. I really wasn't sure whether you'd be back in time or whether you're working in Leicester or not today. But Collins, what's your take on what you heard and listened to on Thursday?
Oh, wow. Nice to be back home. I just feel like, wow. Yeah, like Ray said, and I listened to Jeanne, there was really a lot. Ash really said a lot, but my take, the only thing that every day when I sit and I reflect on it, it's like Ash was talking directly to me. He said, if you can find anyone that can do something for you, that can work for you without getting anything in return, that can really, he said, forget about me, Ash Mufara, forget about whatever. If you can find someone that can work for you and say, take as much as possible and he will take only less, know that you find someone really, really great. I searched my own heart. Said, I think the only person I've received much, maybe it's my family, my mom or my dad, they sponsor you, they send you to school. They were just doing it because you're a child. But when you look at it, among your friends and family, I didn't find any person. No one. And it makes me to think how blessed I am in this company with Mr. Ash Mufara, where he said, okay, things have changed a lot, but the principle behind it have not changed, where it's about giving more, paying less so that you can do less, so you can have much as possible to bless humanity. That core value, that core principle have not changed. But any other thing, whatever the mechanics or whatever, what would take us to get to that point, like Ray said, thank God that it happens. We always said 2024. We thank God, maybe if things were to stay the same, I don't think we would have been in a place where Ash wants us to be. We would have even imagined, say we'll even get more whilst we paid less. But things happen for a reason. And I always said, when it happens, sometimes you said, okay, wow, you crash your head, like sometimes we see the hand, they say, oh my God. But again, when you reflect, you said, one day we said, thank God that it happens. It really happened because it took us to that point where we can start to see what Mr. Ash Mufara has for mankind. Not only for us, as Ray said, for the entire For everyone, even those who will come later on, said, wow, I love this company, I want to be part of it. Those who will come, they'll say, my goodness, those people who were here, they really saw something big. I wish I was part of this journey. Because we are the one who've seen the ups and downs, like Red said, who saw the company growing from strength to strength. Things happen. Sometimes we feel sad a little bit. Again, but we'll always stay close to our CEO to encourage him, to say, you know what, we are with you. Keep on, keep going on. We saw people come in and they said, wow, the discouraged, they stay behind. And when they wake up again, everybody is back on board. This is the beauty of the company Mr. Ash Mufara is building. And as he said, 2024 was a good year. Yes, it was a good year. I agree that, because to recover your data when things happen, the source code and the data is not easy. So just imagine we lost all of that. How would you even think, or just like retrieve or said, oh, okay, Mr. Ashman will say, all right, I know Collins. Collins is part of it. But how will you know the rest if the data is gone? Mr. A or B is there. There is no data, nothing. Everything in your back office or the wallet, everything disappeared because data have destroyed. So 2024 was a turning point, because once it happened, Ash recover all of those data and source code, you know, the company now take a different dimension and a projection to take us back to where we want to go. You can say, all right, I want to travel from here to London and there is a roadblock. I will take another way, but it doesn't mean that I'm not going to London. My destination is London. That's my destination. So no matter what, I'm going there. It doesn't matter the route I will take, but I have to reroute myself again. And that is exactly what Mr. Ash Mufara did, so that he can take us again in a much better place, because all the ups and downs give him a greater vision to look at things perfectly. You know, he made a statement. He said, the bigger the team, that's what he was thinking. The bigger the team, the what, I think Red will even code that. I always forget to code it. Yeah, the bigger the dream. But honestly, when he look at it again and analyze it in my own way, it is not about the bigger the dream. The bigger the expertise of the dream, doesn't matter the team size, the quality team, it will take us to where we want to go. We need quality, not big, quality. So I look at quality, that now he is surrounding himself with quality engineers, those who can even add to what he is saying, not to say, yes, sir. They can question it and say, you know what, if you want us to put red, we can make it green and blue, and we'll make it more massive and beautiful. They give him more ideas, take it to more dimension. And that is the people Mr. Ashford have surrounded himself with. That's why I always say, thank God that it happens, so that you can surround yourself with quality people who can take you to the level you want to be, people who understand your vision. They know what you want to do and what you want to achieve, and they are there to help you to achieve that. So I will leave it there, Andy. Thank you.
Thanks, Collins. I think the greatest thing I've taken out of the guys that he surrounded himself with is the fact that they knew exactly what has gone on, and they are still with him. Now that tells me something really exciting is on its way. Because let's face it, you know, if you look on Google likes to go for the negative stuff anyway. So if you were to Google our CEO, there's lots of negative stuff. There's none of the positive stuff. And if you are applying for a top position as a top expert in an AI-driven company, and the head of that company, you're gonna Google him. But you're also going to listen to what he has to say. And see, and if they've seen the vision the same as Ash has explained it to us, they go, wow, I want to be part of that. And that's, for me, as I said, that's very, very exciting. So what are your thoughts, Jeanne?
Well, I'm amazed. Well, I'm not amazed, but I'm happy. we're all talking about the same thing. Like when Red was talking about how he was so happy that Ash drew that line in the sand and took back the reins and said, you know what, we got to get back to that original vision. And Collins is talking about the extraordinariness of Ash. And Andy, you're saying, I'm here because of this man, not necessarily the products or any of that. When I think about him, taking back those reins, he did that while his heart was breaking, while he was betrayed by people he probably called his best friends, potentially his closest colleagues or whatever. And and to watch his people he treated like family, beloveds, all of a sudden turn against you. I just marvel at his strength. And I think we're all saying the same thing, is I want to stand next to the man that has that kind of mettle, that kind of strength, that kind of just determination and just tenacity to be able to keep going. I mean, I've had heartbreak in my past, in romantic relationships, when you get betrayed, where your best friends set your boyfriend up with their girlfriend, you know what I mean, like terrible betrayals, and it crushes you. It's heartbreaking. So I look at him and I think, wow. And we get to walk alongside him and see. And another thing that he kept saying in the meetings is that let's stay human. We're human first. Let's keep remembering that we're human. And so even though he is so superhuman in so many ways, because he's so unconditional in his love and his just generosity and kindness, he's always bringing us back to that. Let's remember to be human, even when everybody else out there is being a monster. That's another word. We had animal, scum, monster. So that's my feeling, is that we are here because this man never gave up. His vision never stopped. It's still as beautiful as the day it started. And like Red said, I mean, when I think about what's to come, it is just, it's going to knock your socks off just because of the way the man works. You think back on he loves to delight people. He loves to surprise people and to give them more than they asked for. And he likes to be playful about it. So can you imagine? I mean, I don't want to talk too much about it, because I get really, really excited thinking about this next phase. It's going to be awesome. That's all, Andy.
That makes total sense. The only person listening to me is me. Red, I'm sure you've got some points that you'd like to add to what Jeanne has just said.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope you can hear me. I've just changed my headset, so we're good to go. I want to bring one point to people that maybe they take for granted, or maybe they're not really thinking about. And that is, he's not asking for any money, is he? I mean, he's come back, right? He's asked us to wait for 6 months whilst everything was going on, and a lot of things had gone on, and we are starting to get to know what happened. Pretty, is it? What has happened? It's awful, really. As Jeanne said, the betrayal and people wanting to literally scupper the ONPASSIVE ship. But he stayed the course. He didn't give up, and here he is again. He's showing his face. He's bringing us up to date. He's had a plan B, and bit by bit, we're going to get more information. And all through this, I want to remind people is he's not asking for a dime. The money that's owed to people, we know where that is. We know the reasons where it is, and it is, fingers crossed and everything goes well, it is recoverable. But don't forget, that was caused by unscrupulous people, not by Ashmi Farah. He didn't have anything to do with that. This is as much, he's a victim as much as all of us are from what has been going on here. And for him to come back with this open book of honesty and admittance, which he has done, you know, he's held his hands up saying, hey, listen, you know, I'm at fault for a lot of these things, and you know, I'm learned from my mistakes, and we're going to move forward, and I'm going to bring you something bigger, better than you ever thought was possible. And all of this he's doing and not saying, yeah, but it's until we could do this, we're going to need a bit of money from you guys. He's not saying that at all, is he? What's he saying? He's saying, believe in me, follow me, hang in there, and I'm going to bring you something that is going to change your world. Now, a lot of us have lost that. Maybe we've lost our vision. Maybe we've lost our prize that we're all working towards. Maybe we've lost hope. Maybe we've lost faith. Maybe people have lost the will to wait. Any of these things. And I understand, you know, people's lives are different all along. But what's he said? He said, if you have wavered and fallen by the side, if you have even been a non-believer, if you have turned your back on ONPASSIVE in the past, we want you back. We don't want you to not have this opportunity. We want you to come back into the fold and enjoy the spoils that you can have. Now, for any man to do that without asking for us to pay any money, why can't we follow him for a bit longer? Why can't we hang in there and stay the course? I noticed he'd stolen that from me the other day, which is fantastic, by the way, because it's my saying all along. But I firmly do believe that too many of us don't do that. Way too many of us get involved with things and do things that we just don't see through to the end. Whether it's a hobby, whether it's an investment, whether it's a business, whether it's name anything that people go into the gym, for instance, you start with all the best intentions and it wavers off and you can't be asked at the end of the day. You know, all of these is part of staying the course. I firmly believe that we will be rewarded for our loyalty. There will be something there for all of us. And rather than asking questions and wanting answers straight away, I believe that we should always go to these meetings to listen, not to expect. And if you do that, then you're never going to be disappointed. That's it for me. Back to you.
Thanks, Red. Absolutely. It takes me back to the phrase I used before. Who do you listen to? Would you listen to somebody who spouts off and gives you absolutely nothing, or would you listen to a man who not only as Jeanne and I both said, amazingly tenacious, but also forgiving? You know, I have to say, if I was in that position, I would not be feeling the same. Yeah, I don't think any of us would. You know, you've done this. No, you go away quickly. I think that would be the phrase I would use. But the excitement for me is building again in so many ways, because there's lots on the horizon. You know, many people have speculated about what's gone on in the past with what's happening with the SEC and what's happened with the money, and you know, and you hear a lot of this rubbish. Now, personally, I've never made a judgment call because we haven't heard from the man himself until last week, and I'm for me, that's exactly what we needed. You cannot listen to these other people that put this information down without actually knowing the truth, and then going, oh yeah, that must be right. Well, no. Listen to the man himself. Collins, any final thoughts before we close today?
Yes. You know, like Red said, when Red was speaking, and Jeanne, you know, you touched a lot of points which make me to go back again to Ash. like Andy already mentioned, I said, me, like, I will not forgive anyone. I'm just human. I will not forgive anyone. Those who have really poo-poo on it, I don't think I will even, I pray to God that he give me Mr. Ash Mufara heart. It will be difficult, you know. But again, when we look at it, like the question I asked Ash, after all the internal and external, you know, issues that you've been through, why are you still doing this? Why is he really still doing this? Because, you know, he has all the options to just disappear. But he is looking at it and saying, you know what? I'm doing it, you know, for my own sanity. Even if I get nothing out of it. That is what he said. Even if it means I make nothing out of it, I'll be the most happiest person on earth. Because he just want to keep his name. You know, Ash Mofara just want to do something good for others, people that you don't even know. Even maybe you'll never meet them in your lifetime. We have we're talking about 1.4 million. If we ask ourselves here, how many of this 1.4 will meet in our lifetime? Maybe very few, maybe a couple of hundreds. We'll never meet them. But some of these people are the one really causing the disaster. You know, somebody is just trying to do good to elevate you from one end to the other, especially with the way the world is going. Things are really tough, and you have someone like this who is not doing it for himself, but he's just doing it to help others. The only thing, like I said, he's not asking a dime again. It's just to wait, just see this thing through, even put your name on history, you know, that you were part of this journey. That's the history that, you know, nobody can take it from all of us. Red was here 2018. Red can even talk about the journey going, you know, a lot. Like when Red made a statement, which I even reflect on it. When they were searching, you know, never met Miss Ash Mofara. They received the news about joining this company, received an audio. They went straight to Google. Everything about Ash was clean. Red said it. So what has happened transcendent? It was because some of those people who think they can just go because they want to push something very fast, and if it's not going their way, oh, let us just say something bad about him. If it's not your way, then no way. It is not. Sometimes we need to take 2 steps back, like Red said. Ask yourself, why is he doing what he is doing? Is it only for you or for the rest? He made a statement. He said, our goal is far greater than our personal need. The goal of this company is far greater than our personal need. If you put your personal need first before what he is doing, then I believe most of us will be disappointed. Because it's not about us anymore, like Ray said. It's about millions and billions of people, those who are not even coming in to make commission, people who are yearning for products like this to enhance their own business. These are the people we are talking about. And we want to spoil the ship so those people cannot meet up with their dreams. This product will enhance life. It will change a lot of things, businesses. And this is the dream for every company, to have a product and services that they can use to even minimize cost and then maximize profit. You know, 70% will be business people. So why do you want to destroy it for them? This is what they are looking for. So we just have to, you know, just take 2 steps back, ask ourselves, why is he doing what he is doing? The goal of this company is bigger than our personal need. So I will leave it there, Andy. Thank you. We can't hear you, Andy.
Oh, that was wasted, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I said, Red is definitely the oldest among us, with ONPASSIVE, of course.
And literally.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you all for joining us today. And again, fingers crossed I'm able to get back in time for next Tuesday. If not, what we may do is try and record it on a suitable day and then pop it in. But I'm sure we will be discussing what happens in our next webinar that Ash will come on, obviously this week, this Thursday. So please keep your eye on the ecosystem, and you will have all the details from there. So thank you guys for joining us today, and thank you panelists, and see you again next week.
Bye.
We hope.
Bye.